We have a half day tomorrow, but then we've got a full day of review for Monday. So what I did was assign the test review so that if you want to get started on it, you can. It will be due test Tuesday. Ideally, you have this completed before Monday's class so that on Monday we can go over questions on it, okay? It is 19 questions. It's probably about like half and half, not half and half because that's odd, but about half and half, multiple choice and open-ended. So an open-ended question could appear something like this first one on here where you get given a graph and it asks you questions about it. Or there's actually several ones about limit notation. So it could ask you limit notation for the end behavior, limit notation for the vertical asymptotes, limit notation for the holes, and limit notation for the vertical asymptotes. I said that twice. Yeah. All of those will be open-ended. So it could say like limit as x goes to, and then it's going to leave a space. And then it's going to say f of x equals, and it's going to leave a space, okay? And you need to know how to describe a horizontal asymptote, a vertical asymptote, the end behavior, not horizontal, end behavior, vertical asymptote, holes, and in limit notation, okay? And then there's a question like the ones from yesterday where it asks you for a specific question. Those are your open-ended ones. And then there's AP style multiple choice, but there's also multiple choice that are like, what's the domain? What's the vertical asymptotes? What's the horizontal asymptotes? What's the slant asymptotes? Yeah.
Is there a calculator for it?
There is, but it's really, you only need it for 2 questions. One is a table that you'll fill in, and one is your expansion one. So like, let's say it's the 5th term and those numbers got big, I gave you a calculator for that question. Like we did yesterday. Yeah. You could do it without. It's not possible, but it wouldn't be fun, okay? And then there's one other question on there. This question's actually on there with a graph, but so it was just to split it where it was. You don't need it for that. Everything else is on the non-calculator portion, okay? So I would say this is obviously a good review. It takes you through all the different topics, but also make sure you pay attention to the AP questions this time, especially because I pulled more from them. Your quiz had none. This is going to have more, okay? So we did the AP classroom for 1-7, 1-8, 1-9, 1-10, and 1-11. All of those I could pull from, okay? Let's go through. So I hope by now we're good on like the factoring, right? Order, factor, then domain, then your holes, then your vertical asymptotes, horizontal asymptotes, slant asymptotes, y-intercepts. All that stuff is going to get either put into one big question where you got multiple parts, or it's going to get put into individual questions. Let me see. There's a question. So this is also these could be on your calculator part, okay? And then one in which you have to fill. There's not one where you have to fill it in, but one in which if the y was blank, you'd have to fill it in. That kind of question. All right, so we talked about it when it was just a vertical asymptote, but we haven't really gone back to it. And that is, how do I know from a chart if something is a vertical asymptote or a hole, right? So how do you know, based on the chart, if it's a vertical asymptote or a hole? What are you looking for? Undefined. Well, undefined means it is a vertical asymptote or a hole, right? But what would you look for in the pattern of your y's?
The values before and after the hole.
Good. So or the y-intercept. Let's say this is my undefined, right? Undefined. Whatever this is. Okay. This could be a vertical asymptote. Oh my gosh, there's such a lag. If that middle value is undefined, that's either a vertical asymptote or a hole. But I'm looking at the behavior of the y's as it's getting closer to it, right? If the behavior of the y's as it's getting closer to the undefined part are both increasing without bound, what is my undefined? A vertical asymptote. If one is increasing without bound and the other is decreasing without bound, it's still a vertical asymptote, right? As long as they're going without bound, like they are increasing fast or they're decreasing fast, it's still a vertical asymptote. For it to be a hole, it literally just skips over something. It's usually going in the same direction. Doesn't mean a hole always doesn't change direction, but it's not going to skip over a big value. And as you approach it, it's not going to be a big jump in values, right? It's going to be a small jump in values. So if you look at the y, if I look at this one, I'm going from 1.489, 1.495. Are these growing quickly? No, right? They're growing by a teeny tiny amount. Are these decreasing quickly? No, it's going by 1.507, 1.504, 1.501. And then the only thing that's jumped over is what? 1.5. So what does that make that? A whole. Does that make sense? Okay. So you're going to see two charts. One that you have to fill in. You'll have a calculator on that kind of question. And one that is already filled in and you'll have to figure out what it means. Yeah.
So like, what's an example of what the y terms would look like if there was a vertical?
If you go to the first page on your chart, which I don't think I have, I've got 2 coordinate points and one is my y-intercept. So I would say y equals, my y-intercept is 3, and I would count my slope. So up 1, 2, 3, and to the right 2. So 3 over 2 is my slope. So I know this equation just by reading it, right? The second equation is a parabola. I don't know if there's a stretch or shrink, but I at least can figure out my zeros. This would be x plus 2 and x minus 3. Right? So my f of x over g of x is 3 halves x plus 3 over x plus 2 times x minus 3. Now I could ask you, what's the vertical asymptote on this? What's the horizontal asymptote on this? Where are the zeros? Where would it equal 0? All of those things can be asked because I can determine that.
When you combine those two, you get the equation of the parabola.
This? Yeah, there might be a stretch or shrink on it. That I don't know for sure. But at least I know my zeros. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
Wouldn't the x plus 2, x minus 3 go on the top because they're zeros?
No, because it says it's f of x over g of x.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're putting the two equations
Right,
together.
right,
I
right,
apologize.
right,
I was
right.
talking about...
Oh, just for this alone would be in the top.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
sorry. That's what
Oh, and technically it's negative, right? So it should be a negative. Technically it's flipped upside down. So that should be negative.